Okay, we're on Shabbat, Perek Yud Aleph, Mishnah Aleph. Chapter 11, Mishnah 1. I want to start by dedicating the learning to the memory of my father. Here's my email address. And if I can, I'd like, if you don't mind, try to spread the word. If you are enjoying these Mishnayot, if you're benefiting from them, share and share alike. We live in a social world. I want to get as many people as possible to enjoy these Mishnayot. We're going to talk about the four Rishuyot. Okay, these next four Mishnayot are going to discuss transferring from one Rishut to another. And we already talked about, but if I carry something, let's say, let me take you to Fifth Avenue in New York City. Here we are, and I'm on Shabbat. The reason I picked Fifth Avenue is because this is as close as you're going to get to Rishut HaRabim. Let me back up. This is a very, very complicated issue. So it's difficult to know how deep do you want to go down the rabbit hole. But just to remind you, in halacha, there are four different kinds, in halachot Shabbat, there are four kinds of rishuyot, four domains. Rishut HaYachid is a private domain. Rishut HaRabim, public domain. So the classic Isur D'Oraita is to carry from Rishut HaYachid to Rishut HaRabim. Let's go back to Fifth Avenue. I'm now in the Astro Gallery of Gems, and I take an item, and I just, carry it from. I walk outside, I'm holding my cup of coffee, and I travel, and I leave the Astro Gallery of Gems, and I walk out into Fifth Avenue. That's from, I carried, I did an akira, I picked something up inside the Astro Gallery of Gems, brought it outside, and I put it down, hanacha in Rishut HaRabim. That's your classic hotza'ah mi Rishut l'Rishut. That's Asur B'Doraita. Okay, if I'm in the Rishut HaYachid, I can carry anything I want inside the Astro Gallery of Gems because in the Rishut HaYachid. Then there's something called Makom P'tur. Makom P'tur is very tricky. Makom P'tur, there are certain areas where you're not chayav at all. It's just not part of the public domain. It's not part of any domain. So, for example, one classic example of Makom P'tur is something that's less than 4 tfachim by 4 tfachim, okay, and a certain height, and the right height. Let me just see if I get it correctly. Makom P'tur is, here we are. Makom P'tur is between, it's less than 4 tfachim by 4 tfachim, and it's at least 3 tfachim high. So I don't know, this mailboxy thing is more than 4 tfachim by 4 tfachim wide. It would have to be like a pillar or something in it. Here we go. This pillar, I don't know what you do with this, but if you wanted to put something on here, that might be a makom p'tur. Allah talks about a makom p'tur. So makom p'tur, you're not chayav on. Okay? And then there's something called the Carmelit. Carmelit is neither Rishut HaRabim nor Rishut HaYachid. We've talked about it before. We'll talk about it again in future Mishnayot. So we have the four Rishuyot. Rishut HaYachid, Rishut HaRabim, Carmelit, and Makom P'tur. Forgot to tell you, there's one other really major Makom P'tur. And this might be surprising to some people. Okay, this mailbox is about 10 tfachim high. 10 tfachim, hard to measure exactly, maybe a little bit less. Maybe, this mailbox is about 10 tfachim high. Halacha states that even in Rishut HaRabim, even if you're on Fifth Avenue in the middle of New York City, the Rishut HaRabim is only up to 10 tfachim high. Meaning, if you can paint an imaginary line, a height line, so here's the ground, and 10 tfachim from there to here, I don't know how to draw 10, let's say it's like, 3.5 feet. So only the area under Rishut HaRabim, only the area like up to this part of the car, that's Rishut HaRabim. Above there, if I stand on top of this minivan, I'm in a Makom P'tur. I'm not in Rishut HaRabim, I'm in Makom P'tur. And that's an important thing. So now we learned about now let's go back. The classic example we said of Hotzah is I'm in the Astro Gallery of Gems, I carry my coffee cup and I walk outside and I put it down. What happens though, if instead of carrying my coffee, I throw it out of the Astro Gallery of Gems? So is that the same thing? Because I did an akira, but I'm not doing a hanacha. I'm just throwing it from inside. I'm inside, I open the door, and I throw my coffee cup outside onto Fifth Avenue. I didn't do a hanacha, I did an akira. Am I chayav? That's the topic of our Mishnah. Now, I'm just telling you, we can go much, much deeper. I'm just going to show you the Bartanura has an extremely long essay about what all these different rishuyot are. I'm not going to do it because I don't want the Mishnah to be too long. It's already difficult enough if I go too long anyway. Says the Mishnah, Hazorek mi Rishut HaYachid the Rishut HaRabim. If I throw something from Rishut HaYachid, from the private domain, to the Rishut HaRabim, to the public domain, or mi Rishut HaRabim the Rishut HaYachid, or if I throw something from the private domain to the Rishut HaYachid, from the public to the private. So I throw something from Fifth Avenue into the Astro Gallery, then the Mishnah says Chayav. even though there's no akira, even though there's no hanacha, nonetheless, this is called a tolada. It's a subcategory of hotza'ah, reshut l'reshut, and therefore you're chayav. That's considered the isur deoraita. Okay, but mireshut hayachid, l'reshut hayachid, reshut harabim be'emtza. If I throw something from reshut hayachid to another reshut hayachid, and the reshut harabim is in the middle, so what happens? Let's say, for example, I throw something from the Astro Gallery all the way. I don't know. I get a baseball player. I'm a Nats fan. I don't know when you're going to read this. So somebody hires Max Scherzer, or I don't know who's Jewish. Let's assume Max Scherzer is Jewish. He's probably not. Sounds German. And he throws something. He's standing in the Astro Gallery of Arts, and he throws a baseball. They open the door from the Astro Gallery of Arts into the CVS. So I'm throwing something from Reshut HaRachid to Reshut HaYachid, and Reshut HaRabim is in the middle. Am I chayav in that case? Because I threw it from Reshut HaYachid to Reshut HaYachid. So the Mishnah says that's a machloket. Rabbi Akiva mechayev v'chachamim potrim. Rabbi Akiva says in that case you're chayav, and the chachamim say no, you're potter because of Reshut HaRabim be'emtza. Because I'm throwing it from Reshut to Reshut. What's the nature of the machloket? Let's look at the Bartanur here at the very end. Rabbi Akiva mechayev, because Rabbi Akiva says, the Sfirele, he holds, when the chayfetz passes in the avir reshut harabim, in the air, betoch asara, if it's under 10 tfachim, gotta stop, hold on. Ke'ilu hunach, it's as if it's resting. Rabbanan said, and the Rabbanan held, kluta betoch asara ba'avir reshut harabim, if something is suspended in the air, lav kamishahun chadamia. So I'll just explain what this machloket is. If I have a screwdriver, and I throw it in the air, I'm doing slow motion for you. You can imagine I'm throwing it in the air. I'm not holding on to it. And now, imagine it's suspended in the air. Okay? And it's suspended over Reshut HaRabim. In that moment, is it as if it's in Reshut HaRabim? Or is it as if it's not in Reshut HaRabim? It's suspended, but it's not. So that's kluta, suspended, kemishun chadami. It's as if it's actually resting in Reshut HaRabim. Or kluta lav kamishun chadam. Let's go back to Fifth Avenue. So when Max Scherzer throws the baseball from the Astro Gallery of Gems, he throws it all the way over into the CVS. So now at this point, you can use my little cursor. The ball is now traveling. Now it's stuck right here. And it's suspended right in the air at this point in time. Is it kamishun chadami as if it's in Fifth Avenue? Or it's not kamishun chadami, like the Chachamim say, and therefore it's going from Reshut HaYachid to Reshut HaYachid, and therefore you're not chayav. That's the nation of the machloket. There, let's just see this in the chart. So under mitachat le yud tfachim, under 10 tfachim. So we're only talking about under 10 tfachim, because above 10 tfachim, remember we said is makom ptur. I want to point out the Gemara says that there are two opinions, but this is according to most positions and the Bartanura. I'm not going to give you. This is not a Gemara. This is not a Gemara shir, so you can look at it more if you want. Under 10 tfachim, Rabbi Akiva says chayav kazav kluta kamishun chadami. That's what we said. Kluta, suspended. Kamishun chadami is as if it's placed. And Chachamim say no patur. Kluta is lav kamishun chadami. Suspended is not as if it's placed, and therefore, in this case, Chachamim would say you are patur. We'll stop here. We're going to see a lot more examples. We're going to go to London. We're going to go to Yad Binyamin. And we're going to obviously come back to Fifth Avenue in order to understand all these different halachot of Rishtei Reshuyot. Have a great day.